Okay, well, let's talk more about retail sales because they did rise unexpectedly last month, up 0.1%. So what is behind the April bounce? Well, joining us is CNBC contributor Stacey Widlitz, president of SW Retail Advisors. Stacey, how important is it that we pay attention to these numbers, even if obviously 1 month does not make a trend, because so many of the stores themselves, so many of these retail stocks are not coming out with their own monthly numbers?
Well, that's true, Mandy. You know, these numbers become more and more important because, as you just said, a lot of the retailers that used to give us these monthly numbers have dropped out. So we had a couple extra dropouts this month. TJX and Ross Stores, which did very well in April, will no longer report. So we're going to have to rely a little more on this government data.
Stacey, listen, when the sequester hit, payroll tax reset to where it was, everybody said we're doomed, we're doomed, we're doomed, we're doomed, we're doomed. Is this evidence we're not doomed?
Well, you know, you were talking earlier about pessimism, and certainly for those who are half glass empty people, you know, talking about this delayed effect in the payroll tax. It just didn't happen. April sales were actually very good from a retail perspective, and you know, even if you look at apparel, they were up over 1%. And let's face it, the weather in April was not exactly cooperating. So the fact that that space outperformed, you know, it's a very good sign for the consumer.
And because the weather was not cooperating, could we see a huge amount of pent-up demand when the weather does start to cooperate?
Well, you know, there's always that debate about pent-up demand, but yes, April, the weather was not great, and you've heard a couple of retailers, even Ann Taylor, tell us that into May, now that the weather is easing, they've seen some encouraging results here. You know, we just heard from Gap, that's one of the big turnaround stories. Their sales were also very strong in April. So, but I think you also have to think about the decline in gas prices. Gas prices were down about 14 cents in April over March here, so that's a big help to the consumer. It eases up some money in their wallets and helps them spend on other things. And I think, you know, when Walmart reports this week, I think that'll be a great data point to tell us, are those gas prices really easing up and helping the consumer spend?
That would be a good indicator. Stacey, thank you so much, as always, for joining us today.